North Yorkshire, the largest county in England and Wales. Its 6,000 miles of roads are some of the most dangerous in the UK.
He's hit the central reservation, at which point he's flipped on the brow, and he's ended up here.
For 3 of winter's toughest months, our cameras filmed this force 24/7.
Good afternoon, North Yorkshire Police.
This is an Access All Areas guide to Policing North Yorkshire.
Open window, open door, now!
In 2014, there were 2,500 casualties on these roads. But this area faces another problem. A third of its crime is committed by criminals from outside the county. So North Yorkshire's specialist road crime team has a job to do. Target travelling thieves.
Jason, no, you underestimate. No, you underestimate lawfully.
And intercept drug dealers in transit.
Strike.
We can't just sit back as a police force, wait for crime to be committed, and then carry out the investigations to try and highlight offenders. We've got to be out there, nipping it in the bud, stopping these people before they act.
In 2015, Policing North Yorkshire's roads is all about identifying and intercepting criminals on the move. This county has many affluent rural areas where North Yorkshire's wealthy professionals and their high-value properties are regularly targeted by visiting criminal gangs from neighbouring areas.
We're seen as rich pickings. Within 10 minutes they can be in the middle of York or Harrogate or somewhere very, very nice like that and be stealing £100,000, £200,000 vehicles and committing burglaries.
It's late afternoon. At Tadcaster Police Station, North Yorkshire's dedicated road crime team are preparing for a 9-hour shift.
Thank you, James, for your assistance.
PC's Tim Wilson and James Duffy are part of this specialist team. Set up in 2013, the road crime team's focus is on crooks using their cars to commit serious crime all across the north of England.
We're a close-knit team of 8 PCs and a sergeant, and we work as a team in an area really targeting your criminals.
You're mainly looking at your thieves and your drug dealers, or even if they're leaving North Yorkshire and going into the neighbouring borders.
The road crime team are supported by specialist intelligence staff like Steph Crookston, based at the Force Control Room in York. They monitor a network of automatic number plate recognition cameras to identify cars with links to known criminals.
No matter what time of the day you come through, it'll read your plate patch and it'll feed that directly into our system straight away. It's a live system that runs. There's usually no delay on it, and we pick it up straight away.
They're absolutely vital to what we do. If we get a job come in, not only will they be doing those checks, but they'll be working out timings for us. So how long does it take for us to get to this point? How long will it take that stolen car to get from there to there?
I'm very much focused on lifetime, so what's just gone through the cameras now, what's just gone onto our system now, and I'll run them through and give intelligence pictures on them.
Steph alerts PC James Duffy to a suspected drug dealer who she thinks has left the county to pick up his supply and is about to return to his home turf in Scarborough.
We're just seeing which camera it pings next and we'll be able to give you a definite answer.
We're just waiting on Steph doing a few checks.
The only warning we'll get is when it comes back north through Borough Bridge.
At the moment we've received some information in regards to a vehicle which may be collecting some drugs from the West Yorkshire area. So now we're just trying to put a plan in place to deal with it. Some places like Scarborough are quite isolated, so there you're looking more at drug supply issues and local issues surrounding that. So a county like this, it varies massively what you're dealing with day to day and what you're targeting. What we have to do is look at the best way to stop it. So we're just doing checks with the controller at the moment, find out who this lad is. Has he ever failed to stop for police before? Has he ever been convicted of dangerous driving? Is he insured and licensed? And it's just how we get an idea of whether he's going to stop. Because there's always an element that says he's going to fail to stop.
In the control room, Steph tracks the suspect's car on ANPR cameras and updates the team on its whereabouts. Then, with the vehicle in their sight, the plan is to surround it before the driver has time to react.
9-4, thank you. Vehicle is lane 1 as we pass the Catterton turn-off on the A64. Speed appears to be 90. We would rather stop it without it failing to stop. And if that means a bit of a show of force, if that means multiple cars and one going in front, then we'll do that. It's a show of strength, really, to say, if you want to take the chase, we've got 3 pursuit authorised vehicles here and we're going to be able to deal with you. We're hoping that he'll go lane 1 after this vehicle and we'll go for a stop. Stand by, stand by, stand by.
High-speed pursuit tactics are always risky. Over the last decade, there's been an average of 20 fatalities every year during police pursuits.
Strike, strike, strike. As vehicle slows, and it says stop, stop, stop.
Judging by the suspect's reaction, just as the team hoped, he's been caught completely off guard.
You understand what's happening, Peter?
The officers waste no time in getting him and his car detained for a search back at the police station.
These things are real fast moving, and on this case he was doing 90 mile an hour, so I suppose to an extent it is designed to shock them. It wants to take their mind away from getting rid of drugs, getting rid of destroying SIM cards and phones and things like that. Immediately there's a smell of cannabis, because the biggest problem for people that deal cannabis is obviously the smell sticks out a mile. So we're going to take him back now, search him, search the vehicle.
Police station in York, PC Mick Roth updates his colleagues that the suspect has just made a confession.
He says he's got 3 ounces in the boot.
Has he?
I'm just thinking how we're running with a strip search.
I'd turn him over there and give it a minute before we go in, see what we've got in the car. It's cannabis, it's not likely he's going to have it stuffed down his pants. We're not looking for Class A.
No.
There's no intel on him for Class A. So I don't know if you just want to turn him over there.
Yeah, if that's all right with you.
We'll go through the car, and if there's something to suggest there's anything more in it, then we could take him in and strip search him.
Yeah, all right.
Happy with that?
Yeah. He's just made an admission in the car that he's got 3 ounces of cannabis in the boot, which is a sizable amount of cannabis. So, but he seems reasonably decent. He said he's got a relatively sizable cannabis habit. He smokes a lot of it, smokes it every day, so he may go and buy in bulk elsewhere. That's the way he's pitching it at the minute. I just don't know how much cannabis is there yet, so we'll just give him a quick search.
The suspect's confession leaves the officers searching for proof that he is a dealer, as the intelligence indicates, and not just a heavy smoker.
That's strong, isn't it? I think he said himself it's 3 ounces, which I think to buy you're looking at about 600 quid. Whether it's a little bit more, usually people tend to underestimate, so yeah, probably 600 to 800 quid's worth.
People will always go for the low offence of I'm in possession of it for my own use and I buy it in bulk.
They all say personal, definitely impersonal.
The difficulty is disproving that, and that's why we do the phone analysis. If that's why we look at even a financial background. Can they afford to buy that, or is that funded by criminality that they're doing, such as selling drugs? So there's a lot more work behind the scenes that goes on to prove it.
Obviously that's where the investigation starts now. Although the amount does come into it, it won't secure conviction on its own. So we're looking at other evidence, dealer lists, scales, individual bags, what's he bagging it up into, the smaller ones, phone evidence, the messages on his phone. So really finding the gear is the easy bit. It's securing the evidence to be able to push it through and get him convicted for supplying. And that's what starts now.
I did, mate, and you say about 600 dealers.
While the man is checked into police custody for further questioning, Tim Wilson has found evidence that suggests he is a dealer.
We've found these when searching the car, and him trying to say that he used it for personal use. Obviously it sort of would suggest that that's not the case, because why would you then have fresh dealer bags, especially with a cannabis emblem on the front? It would suggest that he's obviously going to separate what he's got up and deal it out.
Intercepting a homegrown dealer transporting his drug supply is a great result for the team. Their other main target are the criminal gangs which come into North Yorkshire to burgle homes and steal property.
They might come from South Yorkshire, for instance, into our area, because maybe the vehicle or their faces are known in their areas. So I suppose to a little extent they're opportunists to think that we don't communicate with our forces.
Back in the force control room, dispatcher Katie Halliday alerts Steph and the team to a report of a shop theft in the Harrogate area.
We've had a male go into a clothes shop. He's attempted to steal items, clothing.
The thief was caught on CCTV by security guards, who also managed to get his car registration number.
Yes, I'll also see if they've got any intel on it.
Katie runs the thief's car registration through the police national computer and finds out he lives close to the North Yorkshire county line in the city of Leeds.
The register keeper's shown Leeds area, so they're going to try and cut him off, see if we can get him stopped.
Steph also runs an intel check using other local intelligence systems.
Just now they've used me to run a check through on a vehicle, and I run it through our local intelligence systems. I then tell them who the vehicle's registered to, who it's insured to, whether it's got any reports or markers, if it's already on our intelligence system. They then make a judgment call on what they want to do with the vehicle.
Steph has identified that the man is known to the police for similar offences.
(9-4), does the log have the time that CCTV saw it onto Panelash Road? Just trying to estimate whereabouts it would be now if it was to head straight for Leeds.
Job came in 17:44 hours.
With help from Control, they make a plan to try to locate and intercept the suspect.
If he wants to go into West Yorkshire straight away, I think it's got 3 bridges that you have to cross, so as long as we cover those areas, you know, we're generally going to catch him.
Leeds Road's still the best position to be in. Romeo Charlie 9-4. We're going to do the right at Spofford and try and cut across to the A61. See if it comes.
Receive, thanks.
And what was the car?
Silver Ford Focus. Just follow this road.
Aided by a satellite mapping system, control room staff are able to monitor the officers and their targets in real time.
We're just checking it now through our cameras so that we can locate it. Basically, we've got Harrogate Town here, and the guy, if he is heading back to Leeds, be either driving that way or that way. This is what they're waiting for. They're going to wait here, see if the vehicle comes through. So they've got a plan, it's just whether it works.
The thief's car triggers a camera.
Yeah, I picked up this Ford. It's going towards Leeds at the moment.
Received. 105, are you monitoring this?
9-4, that's a yes, it should be with us any second. Is it through the lights yet, CCTV?
I think he's out of Bruno, there it is.
Fellas, we've got it. We're 4 for cover, 5 for cover.
James and Tim have spotted the suspect, but as they're in an unmarked car, he doesn't realise they're onto him.
We use both unmarked cars and marked cars to be able to plot different locations, and ultimately it does come down to Mark 1 eyeball. You're looking for that registration. Romeo Charlie 9-4.
With another unit lying in wait 6 miles ahead, James and the rest of the team prepare to stop the target car. Back at Force Control, operators keep a close eye on the situation.
Got 2 vehicles behind the subject vehicle and 1 just further in place in case it fails to stop. If it does make off, we've got the appropriate units and supervision monitoring in case they need to pursue it.
Now in position, the team are ready to box the suspect's car in and try to force him to pull over.
9-4, we're with you. If you want to go for it and we'll reinforce.
Vehicle failure.
The vehicle stops and the investigation can begin.
9-4, can we just speak to reportee and get exact circumstances?
Okay.
Additional intelligence comes in. The suspect may have been stealing alcohol as well as clothing.
Go ahead.
Hi, it's James from CCTV. Yeah, this man was brought to our attention by M&S. Apparently 3 bottles into his bag. The guard approached him. 2 were removed from the back of the shelf.
What have you been doing today?
I went to watch Spencer.
Yeah. Well, honestly, don't touch anything. Just leave your hands here.
Fellas, for info from CCTV, they suspect he may still have a bottle on him.
If you have some...
Whoa. My sunglasses on.
The job number, I think, 17 across.
Where's your receipt for this?
I don't have receipt for that.
You don't have receipts. Have you purchased it today?
No, I've had this before.
Sorry?
I've had this for a long time.
Ah, right. He ain't got receipts for it. It's a brand spanking new bottle. He was a bit defensive on the item, saying that, you know, he's obviously not stolen them. And he's saying, no, I've bought that previously. Well, I can tell you now, if I bought a bottle of whiskey to drink, it won't be sat in my car. It'll either be empty or, you know, it'll be in the kitchen cupboard for a few months. So it was a bit strange that he'd said that, but there was obviously clothing there and other things that he couldn't account for, and he had no receipts for.
I'm gonna Mercy on suspicion of theft.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Okay, you don't have to say anything, maybe defensive, don't mention when questioned, something like that in court. Anything you do say, maybe it's okay. We're going to do searches, that's why I'm arresting you. So you can search your pocket for further things, and so we can prevent the loss of any evidence in this, yeah?
Just come with us.
No.
Has he been searched, mate?
Yeah.
With suspected stolen items found in the car, the officers bring the suspect in for questioning.
Never nick anything from my expense. It's a secret. I never nick anything.
Well, don't worry about it
my
now.
jacket. It's in the car. Yeah.
Speak about it.
You know, it's just the upswing. There's nothing else stolen. Okay, it's just, I went there and I just
We won't talk about it now.
Yeah, let's leave that for now. Hey, don't start swearing, mate. No, listen. We're being fair with you. Wait, put your hands down.
It soon became apparent he was just trying to be difficult with us. And as soon as I tried to pull his hood off his head, that straight away marks me as the target. So all his anger, all his dissatisfaction at how he's been treated, that's just going to be all aimed at me.
You're going to kill me like you black
Put
people?
your
You're
hands
racist, police.
Don't be ridiculous.
I don't want to talk to you. I'll talk to the sergeant.
Don't be
I'll
talk to the sergeant then.
Don't talk to me.
Sounds good.
You're racist.
Put your hands down.
Don't talk to me. You in my country. You take all the oil. I'm going to be IS. I'm going to go enjoy the terrorists. You're going to see.
Right.
Yeah, I'm going to enjoy the IS.
Right.
I'll kill you now,
Well, you're not helping with it, are you?
Right. I've been in the army when I was 16. I'm from Angola. You're taking my oil.
That's fine.
My diamonds.
It does raise your own personal awareness, because you start thinking, if he's shouting that sort of stuff, is it possible that he's armed? Has he got something on him?
The first time that I ever heard anybody tell me that they were going to kill me, or that they were going to serious assault me or burn my house down or anything like that, you know, I'd be lying if I said I didn't go home and worry about it a little bit. But I think you've got to take everything people say in that scenario with a pinch of salt, really, and just deal with him, calm him down, get him to a level where we can deal with him and speak to him.
As James and Tim try to contain a sensitive situation, at Fulford Road Police Station in York, Detective Becky Hughes updates RCT officers Mick Roth and Paul Stamp about a spate of burglaries that have taken place in the county over the last 24 hours.
Do you want me to try and get someone down to early doors? I mean, we change over here at 8.
As well as reacting to the incidents as they happen, the team are also fed intelligence from specialist departments about criminal activity.
The intelligence-led side of the police force, as it is now, North Yorkshire Police, is quite a new, innovative way of trying to target criminals in cars. But you know, off the back of that, that's not the whole picture. You've still got to have bobbies out in cars like ourselves who are keen, who want to be out there looking for bad guys.
This is something which has come in overnight. We've got 3 different burglaries, and from one of them we've lost a sat-nav. The sat-navs are great because they're quite easy to identify back to people based on the history, you know, of where they've been going and things like that, so that's useful. At the moment, we've got a vehicle that we're interested in.
Using ANPR cameras, the police have identified the registration of a white Ford van seen in the vicinity of the crimes from the night before. Paul and Mick have been tasked to go and observe the registered address of the van in Leeds.
Yes, if you could give us a description of what's been taken last night.
A men's mountain bike in grey and black, and a TomTom sat-nav. We're also after some footwear. Any footwear remotely relating to him or that vehicle needs to come in.
Aye, we will, mate. We'll go get him for you.
If we identify somebody from miles away who's committing crime in our area, we go and get them. So we'll go to the middle of West Yorkshire, South Yorkshire, and we've been even further than that, and we go and find these people and we'll arrest them where they live. We'll arrest them at their homes, we'll arrest them in and around their communities, because we've got to send that message. Do not come to North Yorkshire and commit crime, because we will come and find you.
Using an unmarked car to keep a low profile, Paul and Mick have located the address and the van.
Do you want them to not see you, but us to see them? So the unmarked cars are great. You can sneak up on people, you can do all sorts of sneaky things. Try and catch bad guys out, because it's better to catch somebody in the act with stolen items on them than trying to catch them later on, weeks and months down the line. But the van's here. It's parked like within the cul-de-sac.
Okay.
I don't know who wants to play it, mate, really.
But while the officers wait for a decision, they're spotted by two men leaving the suspect's address. For Mick and Paul, it's now a judgment call. If they don't arrest him now, they could risk losing crucial evidence.
What do you reckon?
I think we're going to scare him, mate.
We're going to have to go and knock on the door, aren't we? At the end of the day, somebody's got to come to work and somebody's got to catch these people. And that person's me, along with the road crime team. Hey, mate. What's your name, pal?
It's not to you.
Is it Jason Reed?
Oh, muppet, mate. No, Jason, no, you underestimate. No, you underestimate lawfully.
Burglary?
Yeah.
When?
Yesterday. We do come into contact with some nasty, nasty people. The worst the UK has to offer. It's not a particularly nice experience coming into contact with these people. I don't have a great deal of time for them. Inquiries have linked you to a burglary that took place yesterday. Is that your van out there?
It says.
Right.
Why?
The joint is patting down.
No, I'll pat him down at car, mate.
He'll be starting to panic now a little bit, thinking about, obviously if he's done it, he's going to be thinking like, what have they actually got on me? What are they going to find in my house? So the other team are going to come down while we take this lad through to custody to do a thorough search of the house and also of the van.
Good.
Hey, mate, we've got him. I didn't want to come quietly though. We had a bit of a tussle with him at doorstep. It's his missus's van, and we're just locking him up now.
With the man arrested, Mick and Paul take him back to North Yorkshire for questioning. Meanwhile, colleagues begin a thorough search of the house and the van. 15 miles away at Harrogate Police Station, James and Tim have arrived with a suspected shoplifter.
Step out for us, bud.
The evidence linking him to the crime is more straightforward, but his aggressive behaviour means the officers are keeping a close eye on him.
He's being real difficult at the moment. We don't want to insult anybody, but we tend to find that sometimes they'll focus in on one officer, take umbrage with them, so instead of staying here and just winding him up, I'll go seize the stolen items and we'll see how he goes.
While James goes to search the suspect's car for evidence, the man's behaviour is still raising concerns.
Are you a carer for anybody? You mentioned a family, you said you're not living with them.
No.
But do you have any childcare issues or anything now? Paolo, can you stand up, please?
I was just having a bit of a coffee, like. Hey, mate. You okay?
Have you ever been arrested before, Paolo?
Yeah.
Where was that, please?
Leeds.
Where, sorry?
Leeds.
Leeds, okay.
I'm never a believer that we catch people on the first offence. I just think that's the first time they've got caught for it. So it's always worth a look because you never know what's going to come of it.
The search of the car produces a number of incriminating items.
1 in an 8, 1 in a 10, which I'd suggest would be pick them up off the rail and stuff them in your bag.
One for you, one for me, mate.
Sounds like a decent Saturday night, that.
Size 10, so it won't fit me anyway, will it?
No.
Before you say
Look more like a leotard. So we've got a bottle of Bell's and a body warmer from M&S. We've got 2 bottles of dupe aftershave. And we've also got a set of pliers, which really shows his intent. One of the methods that they use is take all the clothes to the changing room where they'll either wear them or hide them on themselves once they've detagged them. And that's what the pliers will come in handy for.
With video footage of the thief at work and proof of the crime in his car, it seems that the officers have everything they need to secure a conviction. Then, as the detailed search continues, they make a more sinister discovery.
Oh, nice.
Small machete. Or a chop, or a small chopper. In your tool bag. I'll just keep a chopper there just in case. I might need it for a snowy day.
Suddenly the things he said in the car, it certainly raises your level of concern because here's someone that's been talking about associations with a terror group, they've been making threats, and then you find that actually he's got a weapon that he could do some serious damage with in the vehicle. And it's just a bit of a reminder really of how sharp you have to be and how on your guard when we stop these cars, because you never know what someone might be in possession of. You never know what state of mind they're in. He will be arrested for having a bladed article. Seeing the way he's been volatile in the car, it's quite concerning that he's then got one of them. Should he be involved in road rage incident, something like that, there is a chance that he may go and reach for that, and then we're looking at a much more serious offence. So he will be spoken to about that, and we will get an account from him as to why that's in the vehicle.
Possession of a knife without good reason carries a maximum penalty of 4 years in prison and a fine of £5,000.
Yeah, just come this way then, Pablo, I'll put you in your cell.
With the suspect detained for further questioning, the team turn their attention to the threats he made. Officers are dispatched to the man's home address.
Tell them to remain there. There's a CTU Bobby from West Yorkshire going to meet him there. He's going to take all the laptop and any literature that he feels is relevant away from that address, so they need to stay there for him to attend. He's made serious allegations. If we went away and ignored that and he did something a few days later, then obviously we wouldn't be doing our job properly. So yeah, it does change your investigation, but ultimately what we're investigating at that time with the thefts, that won't change. It's just giving him time to calm down and be interviewed for it.
Across the UK, offences like shop theft and burglary are said to have reduced by 20% in the last 5 years. However, 1 in 3 burglaries and 9 in 10 shoplifting incidents are not reported to the police.
We can't just sit back as a police force, wait for crime to be committed, and then carry out the investigations to try and highlight offenders. We've got to be out there, nipping it in the bud, stopping these people before they act, and just putting up that big, metaphoric wall around our county saying, you don't come here committing crime, because we're here to catch you, and we will catch you, and we will bring you to justice.
This is about catching people who think it's okay to break into someone's house and then put the fear into them of coming home and seeing that they've had the window put through or doors been kicked in, and then every time they come home, they're always fearing that it's going to happen to them again. Oh yeah, got one for burglary from the road crime team.
At Fulford Road Police Station in York, Mick and Paul arrive with the man they arrested in Leeds on suspicion of burglary. But their suspect is insisting he's innocent.
Didn't do it.
Right.
You a burglar, like? Never been done for burglary in my life.
I never said that, I said you're a burglar.
No.
Oh.
Despite his denials, the police hope to connect him to a number of other offences.
There's been 3 burglars overnight. You've been arrested for 1 anyway. Yeah. So we've arrested you for 3 in total. Okay, you was arrested for 1 earlier. I've just been told about 2 more. So I'm arresting you on suspicion of burglary for those 2 further offences. Well, yeah, you might as well talk to us about all 3. Yeah. You seem quite confident. A bit of pantomime custody area. It did seem like, I think there is something to this.
A search of the van has uncovered some possible evidence.
We've got a simple thing such as a receipt there, just gives an idea of its inquiries that we can then make on the back of who's been using the vehicle at that time. Documentation in his name. It's quite clear that he uses the vehicle on a regular basis. And then a pair of gloves that are hidden. There's some glove marks at the scene, so it might be that they can be matched to these gloves. They were hidden away under a bench seat in the van, so it's quite possible they've been hidden for a reason.
And crucially, they've seized a sat-nav containing a route straight to one of the houses broken into the night before.
Yeah, that's his sat-nav from burglary in the van. Ah, fantastic. That is a cracking result, isn't it?
I didn't expect that when we looked at it.
No, I didn't.
At the moment, that's the most important thing. We'll get that identified, which should be quite easy by the addresses in it. Sat-navs, they're really tailored. Everyone puts their home address in as their home and favourites. Usually families and friends' addresses and recent addresses as well. Matches the make and model, we believe.
Now they try to prove the suspect was inside the property itself. Mick tries to match the suspect's shoes with a set of footprints found at the crime scene.
We won't leave anything alone. Once we get half a sniff of something, we'll see it through to the end. Footwear impression is like a fingerprint almost. People stand on the feet differently, if you like, on different parts of the feet. So if this footwear impression matches marks at the scene, he's got some difficult questions to answer them. We're the kind of cops that really will go to the ends of the earth, if you like, to try and make a job work. It's our job to root those people out. We follow them into the woodwork and we hunt round for them. We root them out and we get them locked up.
It's 2 a.m. and nearing the end of the RCT's 9-hour shift. But for Mick and James, it's difficult to look the other way, even when it should be home time.
Everyone is soundly asleep. Long hours, it's change of shifts all the time. Everybody's home life takes the strain a little bit. Erin, my partner, she'll sit there at home expecting me home at 7 o'clock at night, and I won't turn up till 6, 7 o'clock the next morning. And she hears very little because we'll have locked somebody up, we'll have a big job, and there'll be so much going on. And yeah, it takes a massive toll out, but I think this role only attracts a certain type of person, and that person's usually described as being a bit job mad. But that's no bad thing in my opinion.
Just as the officers are about to clock off, a car comes racing past them.
This guy came absolutely flying around the roundabout, really quickly.
He's flying, isn't he? Let him go.
So you wonder, why is he going so fast?
They waste no time getting the car stopped and off the road.
Hey old mate, how you doing? Are you good? Have you got your driving licence with you? Just pop keys out, just put them on the roof.
Got some idea on you, pal?
I am.
Funny that, isn't it? Whose car is it?
My mate's.
Who's your mate?
He's on holiday in Benidorm at the minute.
What's his name? Something doesn't seem quite right, does it? That you're not in your mate's car flying around. This guy's driving really quick. We then stop him, and he's a little bit jumpy, a bit jittery, and his speech were a bit slurred. Our job's all about looking at people and how they react and how they behave. And we're just thinking, is there something in the car that he don't want us to find?
Are you known to police at all?
I am.
Yeah, what for?
Car crime, is it?
Car crime?
Yeah.
You're not car criming it tonight, are you?
No, mate, I'm on my way home.
James checks the driver out with the force control room.
Hub receiving 9-1.
Go ahead.
Can you start us off with a PNC vehicle check, please?
Yeah, go with the vehicle.
X-ray 884 Alpha November Whiskey.
We are constantly getting people through that have got a history. They're very good at picking up on people that look slightly dodgy, and they pick up on it straight away.
Just like Mick and James, Steph is also dedicated to her job, but this can mean long hours.
I can't describe, I love coming into work every single day. And I go home, no matter what time I go home, there's some shifts that we are here for more than 12 hours. And any other job, I would have hated that and wanted to go home. But this one, you absolutely live off it.
His record came up that he'd been arrested for possession of amphetamine before. And he displayed the signs of an amphetamine user, using speed, I call it motor mouthing and rabbling on really and that kind of thing.
With this information and the man's agitated behaviour, Mick and James dig deeper.
Because of your demeanour, because there's, bits and bobs you can see in the car and the fact that the wiring's hanging down in the ignition and stuff like that, you're going to be searched. No, but you understand what I'm saying? Stuff I can see in car, the fact that your explanation doesn't really fit. Listen to me. Have you had something tonight? Are you always like this? Like bouncing around and motor mouthing and all that? Is it? You not had any amphetamine out? You don't like that recently? You use it? Not never?
It doesn't take long for James to turn up some drug paraphernalia.
Some little dealer bags are offered, but they don't look like they've had anything in them, and they're bigger than your normal cannabis one.
But most concerning, James finds some syringes or pins.
There's some pins back in there.
Pins?
Are they yours?
No, they're there.
As soon as you hear the word pins, you make sure you're extra careful in searching. If you get stuck by a needle, who knows what you're going to get? God forbid HIV or hepatitis C, that's you for life. I'm frightened to death of getting stuck by a needle. Got a family to think about. Just jump out.
I'm not going to run. Just
no, I know you're not, but I don't want you to go for whatever's in your pocket either. What are you doing?
I'll put my hands up in here.
Come round here.
Don't drag me about.
I'm not ragging you about. You're jumping all over the show.
Relax,
Calm
then.
down, relax your arms.
I'm trying to, but you're
No, listen.
pulling on me
Listen.
wrist there, look.
Just calm down.
There, that's better.
It's like you're frightened to death that we're going to find something.
No, I'm not frightened, mate. I just don't like you people.
James searches deeper in the car and finds a bag containing a substance he doesn't recognise.
It does look a bit like gear, but then it's like old stuff with bits of crumbs mixed in, and not as you'd expect to find gear, really. It's a real strange one. What's that stuff that's in the plastic bag by the side of underneath the front passenger seat? You alright?
Mick takes a look and thinks he does recognise the paste.
Could be Amfet. He's an Amfet user, this lad, so it could be. I've not seen it for a long time, but it does look like that.
Unless you deal with drugs, certain types of drugs every day, it's hard for us to know every drug that's out there.
So we'll treat it as a drug at the minute, I think.
Because I used to work in Humberside, there's lots and lots of amphetamine in Humberside, and you generally see a lot of amphetamine paste, which is like when you mix ice and sugar up. From the way he's behaved, from what I can see and what I've seen in the past, it's definitely amphet paste.
Amphetamine, people generally know it as speed, and historically people have used it for kind of long distance drivers use it to keep themselves awake and that kind of thing. It's not really a massively common drug anymore. It used to be really, really popular at one time or another in the 80s.
Amphetamine may be out of fashion, but police in England and Wales still seize a ton of the drug each year.
That's what we're talking about, pal. Don't know. No. We'll have to treat it as Amphet, mate, and get it tested. Unfortunately. We'll have to, aren't we?
Yeah. But this time you're under arrest on suspicion of possession of a Class A controlled drug.
It's going to be another late night and a trip to custody, where they will charge the driver with drug possession. Identifying criminality across the towns and cities of North Yorkshire is a 24-hour operation. The road crime team are often tasked at a moment's notice to inner city areas looking for wanted criminals. It's 10:30 a.m. and the team are in York searching for a suspected burglar. But as they look for him, a stolen car triggers an ANPR camera in one of the police cars.
What channel's that?
York. We were going looking for a burglar, went to his house, couldn't find him, literally got back in the car and bang, straight away, stolen car.
90, you've just hit it. It what? Stolen vehicle, Tango 464 Kilo Whiskey Echo, the silver Peugeot 206.
This isn't it, is it?
Might be, if it is, I'm all over it, pal.
Stand by,
This is it.
Going against us. It's Tudor Road. We're just spinning now.
Get on your pal.
That's how we work on a road crime team, instantly, and you've just got to pick it up and run with it. As soon as we see it, we're straight into it, and you can be literally from one job completely different, flip straight onto another. It keeps you on your toes, it keeps you sharp, and you've got to be sharp to do that kind of job.
Once again, their unmarked car means they haven't been spotted by the Peugeot driver.
Romeo Charlie 94, we are behind this vehicle.
Set up a preemptive on this.
We are a double crewed advanced car, T-Pack trained. We're in an unmarked vehicle. I don't believe he's aware of our presence, but he's approaching the rear of a marked van. That van, if you can continue, we are going to be looking to do a preemptive tactic involving the rest of our team.
We're in a suburb of York, and it's the middle of the day, loads of people milling around, loads of cars about, and the last thing you want is a high-speed chase around that area because, there's potential for disaster, really.
Working with another unmarked car, they plan to box in and stop the stolen vehicle before the driver even realises he's being followed.
It ain't going to be outstanding, this short, it's following beat van.
Driver's white male, heavy build, wearing a green woolen hat.
With the team almost in position to stop the Peugeot, the driver spots another police car and makes off at speed. The officers need to stop the car as quickly as possible.
So left off 2,
We're off.
Yeah, there's still a marker on you.
Sit marked car with lights on.
Vehicle is failing to stop.
Boys, this is a fail to stop. Broadcast it on York. We're going on to interrupts. We looked to just try and nip it in the bud straight away. Because we always work so close together, we just pounced on it. We're on marked cars. We can see you coming up.
Bravo Charlie 94, you're receiving on this channel vehicle failing to stop Collins round at York.
Get your foot down, Stampy, we're nearly there. Marked cars, get with me and we'll go for a box if Stampy's up top.
We have got 2 more marked cars with us. We will look to box it when we can. Stand by, slow in.
Okay.
Keys out, stop there.
I've stopped.
You're locked up on suspicion of theft of motor vehicle.
What?
Theft of motor vehicle. Failing to stop for police.
Failing to stop?
Yeah.
Check back to my mum.
Face this way.
Alright, stop dragging me, I'll come.
Sit tight.
Stolen vehicle? From
Yeah.
where?
Well, is it yours?
It's my friend's car.
No.
Yes, it is my friend's car. It belongs to Don't check.
Whether the car is stolen or not, the driver has committed an offence by failing to stop for police. And that isn't the only law he's broken by getting behind the wheel.
You got a full licence?
No, I've not got a full licence.
Insured?
No.
Right.
So how did he report the car stolen? Because it is my friend's car. I'm not even lying to you.
Right, well, it's a reported stolen vehicle, whether it's your friend's or not. You're driving it.
I knew it was
so
reported for an issue.
I'll also arrest you for the driving otherwise in accordance with a licence.
I'm
And
banned
for
as
the.
well. I got banned 2 days ago.
Are you disqual?
Well, 3 days ago, yeah.
Right, disqualified driving and driving without insurance.
Delta!
Oh!
What,
Stop
man?
shouting.
No.
Yeah.
Delta!
Oi!
What?
Otherwise,
Get
I'll
back to
tell
me,
you what,
mum.
we'll stick you straight in a van and we'll not mess about. Do you know what I mean? Stop shouting and being a. You what?
I'm going to prison anyway now.
Well, yeah.
Well, obviously.
Stampy, do you want him in yours? It's going to be easy.
Can't take a single quid, mate, yeah.
Driving while banned and without insurance is a serious offence. But the driver's confession is followed by a more surprising admission.
I'm going to go to prison. I'm recall licence, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. So you wanted it?
Yeah.
Right.
I've got a warrant out for me in Devon.
Have you?
Been at court yesterday.
He wasn't the sharpest tool in the box. The car had been reported stolen and he's driving around in it. Had he been just walking somewhere or in someone's house, it would have never come to our attention. But because he's in that car and because the ANPR marker's on it, he's almost driving around with a flashing light on top of his roof saying, "Come and stop me."
You've got a full bag of mashings, you.
I seem to get out of trouble, man. I don't know what it is, to be fair.
What's your warrant in Devon?
Common assault. This girl said I kept her hostage, yeah?
Right.
And then punched her in her head. But like, the thing is,
And you think they've issued a warrant for it?
well, I should have been caught yesterday because I was in hiding.
Right.
Which I was going to be, obviously. And then, yeah.
Thanks to the ANPR camera that spotted the Peugeot, Mick and James have caught someone who's not only an illegal driver, but is wanted in 2 other counties for a range of offences. Just the type of criminal the team have been set up to deal with.
I think general, normal, everyday policing, the officers are kind of tasked and they have certain tasks to go and complete. So they'll go on inquiries and they'll go and do what they need to do. We're not governed by that. We just go where our nose takes us, if you like, where the gut feeling takes you, and our job does evolve like that sometimes.
By getting behind the wheel of a stolen car, the driver has attracted police attention that he might otherwise have avoided. Now, he faces going back to prison.
What's your first name?
Leon.
And your date of birth?
Today. It's my
Happy birthday. Your only hope is that someone bakes you a cake with a file in it and delivers it to York custody. That's been searched, so don't go chucking out ideas.
I ain't got anything.
On the way to custody, the driver's confession continues, and the truth about the stolen car finally comes out.
Yeah, no, it's an insurance scam because I'm on the run, obviously, because I've been recalled back to jail, so I was going on the run over it. Like, put the Peugeot in mate's back garden and strip it, sell the bits. Then he was going to get his money on the insurance.
The whole story unravelled. It was a scam with him and his mate, and he told his mate to report the car stolen and he was going to burn it out and all those kind of things, or sell it for parts, something along those lines. So, yeah, not the brightest spark ever.
The vehicle's owner had reported the car stolen before his friend had managed to hide it. Within minutes of being logged, it was flagged on the police computer system, spotted by a camera and caught. Thanks to this system, illegal driving is now one of the hardest crimes to get away with. And for this repeat offender, it has proved impossible to hide from.
I've lost my missus now, I reckon.
She seemed right happy, like.
She got arrested on Monday as well. She's never been in trouble in her life as well.
Mate, I reckon she's going to bin you then, eh? It's not love her out though, is it?
I think I'll love her, yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, mate.
I've been with her 2 years, but I've been in jail 16 and a half months of that. Yeah, 21st, I was out for the 22nd, in for the 23rd, in for my 24th. It's not a good way to go, is it?
No.
I don't know what's up with me, to be fair. I just can't stop there. I get too bored, innit? I need excitement.
The driver now faces returning to jail and a host of new motoring charges from today's pursuit. At the police station, the seriousness of his predicament begins to sink in.
Can't do this forever, can you? Your lady won't put up with it. She ain't gonna want to settle down and have kids with someone who keeps getting nicked in twat cars. He's a nice lad, but realistically, you look through his sheet and there's a lot of people that have been made a victim of crime through his actions. So he's the one that we really need to protect the public from.
When the road crime team aren't being alerted to criminals in cars by ANPR, there's another important resource that the officers rely on.
Members of the public and communities are vital to what we do. A lot of intelligence that comes in are from people reporting just odd goings on at an address on their street.
For Paul Stamp, a former traffic officer before he came on the team, helping make North Yorkshire a safer place is what policing is all about.
Everyone wants to join and catch a criminal, catch a burglar, catch someone who's making someone else's life a misery, really. Whereas on traffic it was the opposite way. He was dealing with really nice people all the time who've lost loved ones in crashes and stuff, or they've had their life changed by the injuries they've got from a crash. So it's nice dealing with the sort of people that you join to deal with, really, burglars and criminals.
Despite being on the team for over a year, the other officers won't let him forget his roots in traffic.
If I was to deal with anyone for anything motoring offensive, honestly, mate, he could run a granny over. And the team would still rip me for being a traffic man and dealing with it. Yeah, they're relentless.
Police emergency. Okay, what's happening? Police are appealing for help to find Russell Franklin, who escaped from Scarborough Magistrates Court yesterday. He'd appeared in court charged with robbery and burglary, but escaped from security staff. Anyone who's seen him or knows where he could be is asked to contact North Yorkshire Police.
At Tadcaster police station, Paul and the rest of the team are on standby, waiting for any intelligence leads on the whereabouts of the wanted criminal. Franklin has been on the run for 48 hours, when the control room receive a call from a member of the public.
Hi, I don't know if you're still looking for Russell Franklin or not. No, I don't want any involvement, but I've heard that he's absconded.
The anonymous tip-off is the break the RCT have been waiting for.
If it's true what he's apparently done, what's been said, I think it's disgusting.
The tip-off has linked the fugitive to an address 50 miles away in Rochdale.
We're expecting a handful tonight if we do get hold of him, and certainly a bit of a foot chase. I don't think he'll be sitting there with his hands up saying he's ready to come back to North Yorkshire. If you get the intelligence, you do go out and your sole intention is to catch them before they can ruin someone else's life.
Franklin is a 40-year-old career criminal who served several prison sentences for burglary. His most recent offence was the robbery of a 72-year-old pensioner.
I don't think there's any human being who wouldn't look at him and think that that's just such a low thing to do, and how can you possibly do that to someone?
James and Paul are watching an address where it's believed their man is hiding out.
We're just waiting for a little bit of sort of intelligence to be confirmed, and it's looking likely that we're going to be going to this house very shortly. He'll be in a house very, very nervous, hoping that he's covered his tracks well enough. So it'll be ourselves knocking on the door. We've got the belief that he's in there, we've got the power to get in there, whether even using force if we need to, so the door will be getting put through if there's no one answering. They obviously know that at some point they're going to get arrested, so they'll try and do as much as they can they'll try going further afield so they're not in the areas that they've done it before. I think it puts them under a lot of pressure. They know at some point they're going to get caught, but they want to stay out free as long as they possibly can. Steal as much as they can so they can make as much money, so when they do come out, they've got a little nest egg or something to give their families before they do actually get locked away. It must be nerve-wracking for them knowing that the police are looking for them.
Even though the wanted man knows the police are looking for him, it doesn't stop him from baiting them by liking their Facebook status on his escape.
We're going in there using force and getting a grip of him straight away, getting him handcuffs and getting him detained.
But before Paul and James make their move, word comes in he's been spotted in a local takeaway.
Exited the premises.
Walking away from some takeaways on Milton Street, carrying a white takeaway bag.
Mate, is he here? Yeah, it's got to be him, mate. He's on the phone.
As the officers approach him,
yeah,
he makes another break for freedom. This time, he's got 3 officers and a police car on his tail.
Escape from lawful custody, mate.
Dear me.
Take it steady. What's your name, mate? What's your name?
You know, Zoe.
Well, tell us who you are.
Russell Franklin.
Nice one, mate.
Hold on, mate.
When you get hold of someone, it's a fantastic feeling, and it's what we all join for, to get a good result and get a bit of closure for the people that are affected by the crimes that these people commit.
He's confirmed he's Russell Franklin, mate.
Yeah, we'll get you up off the ground, mate.
No more messing about.
Where's your phone gone that you had again?
What? I threw it.
Did you throw it?
I threw me, I can't receive it.
Yeah.
Can you not go back and get me chip it?
Put your hand in front of him, onto his ass.
Yeah, but you won't be eating it, we will. Right, come on, knees up. No, wait, hold on, onto your
Sit on your backside, mate.
Onto your backside. Knee up. I'm going to go this way. 3, 2, 1, onto your knees, and up.
The reason you join is to catch people who are burglars, people that are robbers, people who are just causing misery to people.
Stick your backside in first. Sit in.
You think that they can just, say, following a lady home and take some money from her just because you want her money? It's absolutely disgusting. Lucky if you got it.
With the fugitive thief detained, Paul and James hunt for his discarded mobile phone.
When we first saw him, he had a plastic bag in his hand, and he was on his mobile phone. He had his right hand to his right ear. And you could see he was on his phone, so we're just trying to find that for him, really. You don't throw your phone away for no reason, so a weird thing to do just for escaping lawful custody. There's got to be something else on there that's they don't want us to see, really, so try and find it, see what it's got on it. It'd gone quite early, I'd have thought.
He wasn't running down here with it, was he? Could be anyway.
I wonder if he's got it really early on. No, not at all.
There's no sign of the phone, but James does find his takeaway.
We've got his snap. Although I think it's going a bit soggy now. 2 cod and chips. We'll have to bin that, but it smells nice.
To risk being seen by anyone just sort of strikes me as a man who's really, really confident that the police aren't going to catch him. He's a cheeky one. Who goes for a takeaway? Get your mate to get it for you.
There's 2 lots there, so there's somebody sat with 2 plates out and a bottle of brown sauce waiting. You won't be needing that.
We've all done response policing, and we've all seen the victims on the end of the burglaries. For us, it might be a great result getting a stolen car and 2 arrested for burglary. But behind the scenes, there's always that person that's had their home entered by force. They've had to deal with an untidy search, and that feeling of being scared and not being secure in your own home. We've all done that policing, and we're all aware of those victims on the other end.
Franklin has been brought to Rochdale Police Station.
Sergeant.
And finally, they've located the whereabouts of his phone.
So he came from the car, walked normal, walked down the corridor normal, gets him in that room. Oh, can you take my handcuffs off? I can't sit down. And he was like fidgeting, so I said straight away, he needs strip searching. And lo and behold, phone was right up there. So.
He's done well to get up there from that time, but he's run past Quiz in front of his car and come back at that. Yeah.
I've never known anyone do that.
Getting him booked in now, they've just done a risk assessment. He's complaining of a bad leg.
Looking for a way out, he claims he was injured by the officers during the foot chase.
I got hit with a car.
You got what, sorry?
Hit with a car.
Hit with the car?
I think he's collided with the sergeant's car as he's been running, but I think he's milking it in fairness. Obviously, it didn't hurt him at the time because you saw how quick he was running.
As I drove across, they drove across and hit me in the leg with the car.
The concern is that he might be angling to try and get to hospital, where he's once again perhaps tried to abscond. I'm sure his mind's turning to how he can get out of it, and the easiest route for him is going to be feigning an injury, getting taken to hospital and make good his escape, but he's going inside. He ain't going anywhere.
With the prisoner's injuries dismissed as a tactic to avoid being kept in the cells, he's safely locked up and remanded in police custody, awaiting trial.
Victims of the burglary, victims of the robbery, they'll be updated now. The fact that we've got this lad safely behind bars wherever he belongs.
In their first 2 years, the road crime team made at least one arrest every 2 days for offences such as burglary, theft and drug dealing. Although often their success was aided by police intelligence systems, sometimes it wouldn't have been possible without help from members of the public.
Public involvement in finding wanted people is absolute paramount for us. We wouldn't work without public ringing us up. You ask any cop, me included, if you're out working on a night shift or any shift for that matter, all you ever want is a member of the public has seen this person or seen that person, because it just straight away you can get involved in the job. Even if they're thinking, well, should I ring in, am I wasting time, I don't know, you're never wasting my time. Because without public ringing us, we'd never do the job.
We've got the freedom to be able to go out there and make probably the biggest difference that we'll ever be able to make in our careers when it comes to getting these people locked up. And that's really why we do it, and that's why we'll turn out to a job with a few minutes left of the shift. It's not because we want the overtime, it's not because we haven't got families at home, but it's because we want to be out there locking these people up.
The Scarborough man caught with 3 ounces of cannabis in his boot pleaded guilty to possession with intent to supply Class B cannabis and was sentenced to a 12-month community order and 12 months supervision. The shoplifter, arrested for theft and possession of a bladed article, received a 60-day community order and an £85 fine. No charges were brought against him for terrorism offences. The suspected burglar admitted handling stolen goods and received a 12-month conditional discharge. 6 months later, he was sent to prison for 34 weeks after being convicted of a separate set of burglary offences. The erratic driver who attracted the attention of Mick and James was arrested for possession of Class B amphetamines and cautioned for the offence. The driver of the Peugeot pleaded guilty to disqualified driving and no insurance, and received 4 months in prison with a further disqualification for 12 months. No action was taken against his girlfriend and rear seat passenger. And the man who robbed an old lady on her way home from church received a prison sentence of 3.5 years for burglary, handling stolen goods, and escaping from lawful custody.